What's going on there, everyone? Sorry for me being so red right now. I just took a 500 milligram niacin and didn't realize I was going to be on fire from the inside out from it. But, yes, I digress. Let's talk about Bernie Sanders for a second because, ever since his little, town hall that they had on Fox, the left has been dragging the bejesus out of this man. Um, I expected a lot more from the left about how, Bernie Sanders owned the Fox News people. Well, he really didn't. He kind of made himself seem like an idiot. He kind of seemed foolish, you know, like he doesn't quite believe in the stuff that he keeps saying he believes in. But nah, I don't blame him because why would you believe in socialism and communism? Something that's killed over 130 million people in roughly 120 years worth of existence. So, yeah, I can clearly see why he is secretly against his own things. Because now everybody knows that he is millionaire status because apparently he wrote a book. I will never read that book. I don't like read. I've only read a couple commie books, and they were by the original commies. So, and they didn't make a whole lot of sense either. They were just as stupid as anything these modern socialists are saying. Free shit. That's all you get. Free shit. All you got to do is work yourself to death for the cause of the greater good. It's not about you. It's about the greater good. You as an individual mean nothing to a socialistic style, a way of government. You are nothing. You are nothing but a producer to the government. Pretty much, you become a slave. America does not like slaves. Good Lord, we go through this all the time. Slavery is bad. That's what socialism is. Socialism is slavery. The working are the slaves for the non-working or the government. It's kind of how it works. But yeah, I just thought that it really showed a lot of his true colors during that town hall. They were asking him pretty softball questions, which I expect they would because that was the first Democrat that said they'd come on Fox. A lot of them don't want to come on Fox, but for them it's smart to do it, because a lot of people watch Fox nowadays. It's not just conservatives because the other mainstream medias have gotten so belligerent about their Trump derangement syndrome that they can't report facts anymore. They just report opinion pieces. There's no facts hardly. Look at CNN. It's hard to actually get news out of CNN unless it's like something breaking like the Notre Dame Cathedral or something, which I didn't watch to see if they or how they covered it. Anyways, I stuck to Fox and the interwebs because the interwebs tend to tell you a whole lot more factual information, or they'll have videos of on-scene coverage of stuff that's going on that the media won't. But yeah, I say but a lot. I'm gonna have to work on that. But yeah, that's it's kind of weird how Bernie Sanders went on there and he was peddling his Medicare for all. Still couldn't tell you how we were going to pay for it. They always say a single payer healthcare system's going to be great. No, it's not. No, it's not. That means taxes are going to go up. The quality of healthcare is going to go down. It's not a win-win situation. Look at these countries that have universal healthcare. Canada. It's the one closest to us that has it. And ask them. It sucks. It's terrible. There's you'll have to look for old, very old clips now, but when Steven Crowder was still in Canada, or he might have been in Michigan at the time, but would still go across border because he's got dual citizenship. He'd go across border and he'd do these little like sting type operations, little hidden camera operations to show that When you go to a Canadian hospital or a doctor, you may not get seen for a long time. First, you might be in the waiting room for hours and hours and hours, and then they're going to tell you to come back in a couple months when they have time to see you. Well, people with terminal illnesses and stuff like that, they don't have a couple months. And so they come to America, where our healthcare system is actually doing very well. Yes, it needs the prices of medications and stuff does need to come down. I think everyone's in agreement with that, whether you're on the right or the left. That's something that's easily doable. They're making tiny little tablets that practically don't cost them anything to make, and they're charging hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in some cases. Like when it comes to the serious drugs that people need, I hate the medical system. Cancer drugs. You're dying of cancer that most likely you got because of poor food and drug administration shit, because they put stuff out there that could potentially harm you. They put stuff in our food that could potentially harm us in quantity, and if it's in there every day and you're eating that same type of stuff every day, it builds up in your system. That's kind of it's kind of what they bet on, though. They don't get paid for curing the problem. They get paid for treating the problem. So they don't want to cure the problem. They want to treat the problem. But other than Medicare for all and all that good stuff, and it comes to wealth and taxes for the wealth, Bernie Sanders won't about him being overtaxed because he's in a millionaire bracket now. He won't about that at all. They pretty much asked him point blank, do you think you should be taxed more now and blah blah blah? No. I don't think I should be taxed any more than any blah 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 blah. Shut the hell up, Bernie. God, come on, people. If there are Bernie supporters out there, have you been asleep for a few years? Are your eyes sewn shut? Are your ears sewn closed? What the hell's going on with you, and why do you support someone like him? He doesn't even support himself. When it comes down to the brass of it, he doesn't support himself at all. He just wants you and I and everybody else to do what he says. He doesn't want to do it, but that's kind of a typical leader of a socialist or communist regime. That's what they do. What's good for the goose isn't good for the gander all the time. I shouldn't have to work. I shouldn't have to do anything. I write a book. Yeah, I made a lot of money on it. Should I have to pay more taxes? No, I shouldn't have to pay more taxes. Shut the hell up, Bernie. Go somewhere with your old ass. Bernie Sanders, just like the policies he wants to enact if he becomes president, is a dinosaur. He is just as archaic as the policies he puts through, or wants to put through. But now the Democrats are turning on old Bernie Sanders too. After his little town hall and meet and greet with Fox News, they're kind of a lot of the left-wing media and a lot of just left-wing people in general kind of turning on him. Because one big reason, he doesn't believe in open borders. And oh my God, he doesn't believe in open borders. Well, we can't have that type of shit here, can we? No, that's no good. Get out of here. You're going to turn on a guy because he thinks the one thing that you don't like is that he wants to keep our borders, the way they should be and protected, to where we don't have just droves of foreign nationalists coming into our country that don't assimilate. They end up grouping up in little cliques with them, with like people, people who came from areas they came from. And then we have areas like Little Mexico, Little China, Little Korea, Koreatown, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. That's not cool. We don't need different speaking, like, ethnicities towns in America. If you're in America, you need to be American. That seems like it's common sense. And even people like Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders agree with those statements. That shows how far left the left is going. You got people, these people make people like Obama look moderate, when he wasn't moderate at all in reality. But yeah, there I go with the but again. God damn, that's gonna be a hard one to get rid of. So yeah, Bernie Sanders pretty much, he doesn't have a shot because the left's turning on him now. People from the right just despise people like Bernie Sanders. Anybody who, I'm on the right, anybody who says anything positive about socialism and stuff like that, open borders, not saying that he said that, but, you know, the party as a whole is saying that. You know, stuff like that's just, it's ridiculous. You're not a nation if you don't have borders. And considering we're the most powerful nation on this planet, we should have some of the strongest borders on this planet to protect our own. But yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because all these people are crazy, especially on the left. They're all crazy. You got, but I give Bernie a lot of credit. He had the balls to be the first one to come on Fox News and do a town hall. I believe tonight Andrew Yang's gonna be on there, which Andrew Yang has no chance. Most talk he ever got is when people started memeing about him. And they were kind of doing it just to be ironic. I don't think anybody really likes Andrew Yang. I don't think anybody likes really any of them. I mean, look at the people they're putting up. These people are ridiculous. They say the dumbest things. They're not Trump. Trump could he will get away with saying crazy shit because he was that guy. He is that guy. That is him. That's who he is. These people are fake, and it's clear. Look at Elizabeth Warren and her little beer drinking faux pas she had on Instagram or whatever the hell it was, Facebook Live, something stupid. But yeah, fake people. Absolutely fake people. Absolutely fake people. But what are you going to do? I thought Pete Buttigieg was going to be one of the betters, but then I started looking into his past. He's just as far left as the rest of them. Just as far left as the rest of them. Tulsi Gabbard seems to be the only somewhat decent leftist now, but she's going to go the same way as her party. The leftists have become so powerful within the Democratic Party that there's a huge schism happening right now in that party. The fracture is huge. It's getting wider and wider. But they're starting to build bridges across that fracture. They think that because the far left is so loud and vocal, that there's a lot of them. That there's an extreme amount of it, which the left has. There's a lot of graphs showing, a lot of statistics showing that the left is becoming really, really far left, which is dangerous. They always, all you hear on the news is far right this, far right that. It's not the far right doing a lot of things or causing a lot of problems. The far right's actually pretty damn quiet. Even when you look at the graphs, there's not that many far right people. And if you look at the same graphs towards the far left, it's half the damn Democratic Party that was in that graph, that was in that mixture, amalgam of people that were being studied for that particular graph. But yeah, that's a whole lot of people. That's a whole lot. I mean, this graph, I think it did something like 1,000 people, maybe a little bit over 1,000 people, and most of the people on the right were kind of towards center right, a little bit more liberal when it comes to economic policies and whatnot. But when it comes to ideology, they were more towards the center than the right, like most conservatives. The far right movement isn't a movement at all. The only reason it gets any pushback or any even airtime is because the media owns, they are leftists. So whenever there's a group of five white nationalists or whatever you want to call them sitting there doing a stupid ass little protest or whatever they're doing out there, they make it seem like this is a huge thing. This is huge. Look at the crowds, when half the crowds they're showing are people like Antifa counter protesting, which Antifa's, they're the fascist. I'm sure everyone knows that by now. They're a hate group. They are a predominantly white supremacy hate group. Yes, they are. They truly believe white people are supreme. That's why they don't like white people. They're self-hating white people, which there's nothing worse than someone who's a self-hating person. That's just disgusting. But this video has gone all over the place, and it's gotten very long, so I guess I'll end with saying that Bernie Sanders is not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to even come close to beating Trump, because a lot of the people on the left right now, even the mainstream media, are turning on Bernie Sanders right now as we speak, and mainly as fallout from the Fox situation, the whole Fox interview at the town hall thing. So let's see who comes in next, because really, without Bernie, it's going to be Biden. And that, as we know from a couple weeks ago, that's going to be a whole new set of issues. And Biden's also way too centrist for these super progressive leftists. They're not going to want him either. He's way too centrist. Way too centrist. I don't even think right now the left would vote for someone like Barack Obama, just because he's too centrist for them. They've really gone to the deep end of the left. They are when it comes to a swimming pool, they are the deep end. The left has become the deep end. The right is the very shallow end. So we are moderate compared to most people on the left. Yes, we want border security. That's a commonsensical issue. Yes, we want the government to stay the hell out of our health care. That should be a common sense issue. What has the government ever done that was good? Like when they took something over, what did they take over and actually make it work? Don't say stuff like the mail system, because the mail system was completely in shambles until people like Federal Express, UPS, and stuff like that came out for competition. It made them have to step up their game. That's why they got good. So don't use that. So try to give me some other things, if you would, in the comments, because I really I have a hard time seeing, I guess it's the libertarian part of me, I have a hard time seeing where the government does anything good. Like when they take something over that we used to do on our own, they always screw it up drastically. They screw it up bad. Look at Obamacare. That was horrific. That was absolutely horrible. We sat there and I had to pay because I didn't want health insurance. Don't need it. I'm a healthy guy. I understand at any time something catastrophic could happen. I could be sitting here right now, and I live in the county, but if I lived in the city, I could be sitting here right now filming a video, and a bullet could come through that window and shoot me in the face. But I also don't live in Chicago or Baltimore. The city's known for just random shootings. But I don't need health care, and I don't need the government or anybody forcing me to get it. You know how much I had to pay at the end of the year in taxes? It was over $1,000. When I don't get back, at the time, I didn't get back hardly anything in taxes. Sometimes I had to pay taxes. Most of the time I had to pay taxes. I suck with taxes. Taxes are terrible. But, what can you do? Yeah. I would love to hear some comments about your thoughts on Bernie Sanders being outed or starting to be outed by the left, and anything else. Anything else at all. I will get back to your comments. I always try to make sure if a comment leaves room for me to comment back, I always try to answer the comments. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.